Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and another live stream, this time Liverpool versus Manchester United tactical preview. As I've put in the chat there, before we do that, we are going to be bringing live updates on Erik ten Hag's press conference this afternoon, hopefully getting an update on team news and some injuries within the squad or players returning from injury. Ideally, we're also going to be discussing kind of the reaction to the Bayern game the other night because we haven't spoke since then. But the main focus really is tactically, how do Manchester United win this football match? Because I think there's a lot of people who, coming into this game are quite negative about things. I don't think there's too much optimism. So today we're going to try and switch that up together with you guys. We're going to come up with a tactical strategy, basically, on how United can win this game. Before that, though, get in the chat and let me know how you guys are doing. Let me just pull the chat onto a different screen so I can see it properly. And then I will get talking to you guys. Let me know how you guys are doing. How's your week been? How are you feeling about United in general? How's work? All of that good stuff. Edwick, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Codename, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day, mate. Hey, boss. You are the boss here. Good to see you, mate. Let's go 3-5-2 at Anfield. Nice, nice. I like the idea of it. Maybe we can look at it a little bit later in stream. Pretty good. Got some studying done. Love to hear that. Nice and productive. Exactly what we need to be in this stream. Productive. Like I said, I am keeping an eye on my phone to bring you guys updates on the Erik ten Hag press conference as we get them. But also I do want to focus on the tactical side of things. Before we progress to this though, should we have a little bit of a chat about Erik ten Hag and just kind of how we're feeling about the club before we get into the Liverpool game? I guess you can let me know your thoughts going into that game as well. But let me know, how are we feeling? Post-Bayern game, have we really learned anything in that game? Are there any players missing from this game, which is going to be a huge loss? Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how we're feeling about this. Let's go for a 9-0-1 formation at Anfield. Might be a good strategy. Matt, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Spamming the hat emojis. Love that from you. Hope you're having a good day, mate. 4-3-3 is what I want to see, but with deeper 8s and Højlund dropping in for control. It's a point where I'd rather guide my dad to my mum than watching Man United playing against Liverpool at Anfield. Oh. Have you seen what Erik ten Hag has just said, though, guys? He has said, and this is quite big, Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford are fit for this game. Anthony Martial, Harry Maguire are out. So that is quite big. And I know people have their criticism of Marcus Rashford this season, and rightly so. But at least having an option there, it's important that we at least have a choice. We weren't sure if Luke Shaw was going to be fit. It's important to know that at least he is available, right? At least Erik ten Hag is going to have a little bit of choice rather than being forced into one starting 11. He's going to have a little bit of tactical freedom at least. Obviously, we'll come on to that. No Maguire is painful. We really need him for this game. And I guess that's a big credit to where he's come as a player, right? 12 months ago, if I said Maguire was missing the Liverpool game, no one would have cared. In fact, people probably would have celebrated. Now we're crying in chat about it. So shout out Harry Maguire and the progress that he's made over the past 12 months, particularly the last few months, actually, really. So shout out Harry Maguire. But it is important that these players are fit. It does give Erik ten Hag something a little bit extra that he can experiment with and work with. Haven't really learned anything since Wolves. Fair enough. Codename saying we are doomed. Okay, we are struggling for positivity today. Okay, we'll see if we can come on to that. This Liverpool team does have weaknesses, and we'll look at it. A couple of decent seasons is what I want. Is it too much to ask for? It seems like it is too much to ask for at the moment, yep. Evans and Varane at centre-back. Yeah, I've got Lindelof in the team at the moment. Not sure if he's available or not. I'm trying to keep an eye on things. I believe he trained before the Bayern game the other day. So hopefully he's available. Again, even if he doesn't start, at least it's an option. I want to say your name right here. Is it Noureddin? Is that how I say your name? I want to make sure I say it right. So just quickly, before I read this out. How do I... Is it Noureddin? Is that how I pronounce your name? Noureddin has just gifted 10 memberships. 10 channel memberships to you guys in chat. So 10 of you, thanks to Noureddin, are now channel members. And it's cost you literally nothing. Noureddin, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for that generation. For that donation. Any of you which are now members, and also my old members, make sure to spam some love hearts, because that is super, super generous. Thank you very much, Noureddin. That is very, very kind of you. Everyone spam love hearts. So many of you guys have just become members. 10 of you, in fact. Good to see Codename getting one especially. Seen Codename in chat for a while now. Congratulations on membership. Noradine, thank you again. Thank you very much for that donation. That is super, super generous. That is the sort of positivity we need to bring into this game as well if we can. And we've got a donation from Ali, the $9.99, saying, good morning, AJ, and the best community. Sorry, missed the last live show. Was ill. Hope you're feeling better now, mate. No worries that you missed it. Oh, there you go. But much better now. Good stuff. Love to hear it. Very worried about the game. I pray for a non-embarrassing result. We will obviously come on to that. We're going to look at how United can try and restrict this team as much as possible. We've also got another donation from VK. Thank you very much for the donation. Once again, everybody, spam love hearts in chat. Spam the hat emojis if you are a member. Flames. All of that shenanigans. Thank you very much for the donations, everybody. Ali, mate, I hope you're feeling a little bit better. VK, hope you're having a good day. Noradine, you as well. Absolute legends we've got on this channel here. So thank you very much, guys. I am just keeping an eye on Erik ten Hag's press conference at the moment because he's literally talking live right now. So what I'm going to quickly do is get a Twitter page up on screen so we can at least follow it. But yeah, I think it's important that players like Rashford and Shaw are now fit for this game. Whether you think they should start or not is obviously a different discussion, really. And some people will come on to a little bit later. But I think it's important that Erik ten Hag at least has a choice, right? He's not forced to 11 players, right? He's not restricted to 11 players. So I believe I've now got the updates on. So let's quickly get over to Twitter and have a look at this and see what Erik ten Hag is saying. And then once we've done that, once we've got a little bit of team news, we can then construct a starting 11 and look at a tactical approach. By the way, you guys which have now become members, you will now have a badge next to your name to show how long you've been a member for. It's a goat symbol because you are a goat of the channel. Now you are a member. You're going to get custom emojis. You get access to bonus content on Discord. So make sure to join the Discord server. There's loads of bonuses to being a member. So Noradine, thank you very much for the donation. The gifted members, if anyone else wants to become a member, there's a join button somewhere on the channel. I highly recommend it. I'm sure these guys will as well. But this is what Ten Hag is saying. Harry Maguire will not be available against Liverpool, but we don't think it will be a long period. That's a good thing. Obviously not the Liverpool part, but I want to win and progress in the right direction. We haven't met the standards. That is the truth. The future for Man United is very good when you see how many good young players are in the squad with high potential to play at the top level. Nothing particularly important. Ten Hag, if he still has United's backing, I feel that and they tell me that, that's fine, that's okay. But I'm focusing on the process and making this team and these individuals better. So far, nothing particularly interesting, right? Nothing particularly interesting in the press conference. In terms of starting 11, are there any guys which you guys would definitely be playing? Anyone you would be completely avoiding? Let me know how we're feeling. Any players which have annoyed you so much recently that you don't want to see them? Let me know. Noradine is a GOAT not only on this channel, but also on United People TV. Maybe just a GOAT of YouTube in general then. Noradine meaning the light of the religion, where the gift of membership shine upon AJ and the best community on YouTube. Also be the light for our abysmal period with Manchester United. A lovely little message from Codename. Thank you again for the generous donations and the gifting of the memberships. Is it free to become a member? Unfortunately not. I believe it's $2.99, I believe. Can Man United play 3-2-4-1? Obviously some of that's going to be dependent on who's fit and available in the defence. But if you would like to see that formation, let me know what 11 you would go for. DJ Nature, good to see you, mate. Saying it's a good day when AJ streams. Hope you're doing great, mate. Not bad at all, thank you. I hope you're well as well. Hope you're doing good. McTominay out. Kobbie Mainoo in. Yeah, we've got Kobbie in the starting 11 at the moment, right? Of course, what do we make of Bruno Fernandes not playing this game? Is it going to be a slight blessing in disguise because we know that he doesn't have the greatest record of playing at Anfield? Last season he had a horrible performance, got called out for his leadership and things like that. Granted, I think everyone overreacted to that. But is it almost a slight blessing in disguise? It also rests him ahead of a busy period? Or do you think it's a real problem and almost gives us no creativity going into this game? Let me know what you think. So VK, Heaton, Evans, Mainoo, Hannibal, Garnacho, Gore, McTominay, Hugill. We could have 8 academy players in the squad. Yeah, I think we're going to be forced into quite a lot. Of course, Rashford being one as well. You don't think Shaw and Lindelof will be available? Lindelof we're not sure on. Ten Hag did say a few minutes ago that, where is it? Somewhere down here. Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw are fit to play versus Liverpool. Interesting. Personally, I think it's a low-key a blessing. He is obviously quality, but also eats chaos for breakfast. Yeah, and obviously against this Liverpool team, you don't just want to give them the ball constantly. We'll come on to tactical stuff a little bit later. For now, we're just going to focus on just kind of chatting to start the stream, basically. See how you guys are feeling coming into this game. Is there anyone which you're looking at this and going, we really need to get that guy on the pitch? Is it a Marcus Rashford? I know he's had a lot of criticism this season, but he is our most dangerous player still, I feel. I know defensively we'll talk about that, but I think he is our most dangerous player, and I think he offers something which no one else can. So would you be playing Marcus Rashford? Luke Shaw, a definite you would start. I would agree. If he's fit enough to, I would start him. Maybe then rest him in the next game, because obviously he only recently came back from injury. I'm not sure if Mason Mount is available. I genuinely don't know. I don't believe he is. I haven't seen anything suggesting that he is, so I would guess not. AJ, let's play devil's advocate. Will you want this match to be an open match, but Man United lose 3-0 or 4-0? Or Man United waving white flags before the match, but still lose 1-0 like the Newcastle game? That's a really difficult question. It depends what you mean by an open match. Do you mean we've competed, or like it's end to end? Because it could be an open match, but that means tactically we're quite poorly set up. Ahmad, is he okay? He's back in training, but not ready yet for the starting 11 is the latest that I've seen. Less ability, but more stability is the boring but probably correct approach in this game. Yeah, I think we need to be a lot more compact. If we're talking about that Newcastle game the other week, we can't be that open. We just can't be. You'd start Rashford over Garnacho. Open game, but after 3-0, we would close up shop. Every team that gets a result gets at this Liverpool defence. Really important point. However, we need to manage subs in the last 10 minutes. Game management absolutely will be crucial. Play Hannibal or Hansen in the 10. Okay, so I like this point. This is a good conversation to have. The best centre-back pair we have is Shaw and Raphael Varane. Play Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. Throw the kitchen sink at them. We need the 3 points. Firstly, Shaw and Varane. Is that the centre-back pairing you would go for? Or would you move Shaw back to left-back because it's his, actual position? And again, let me know some players here which you feel are guaranteed starters. You'd have to get them in. And again, some which perhaps you're avoiding a little bit. I'm just going to keep an eye on this press conference to see if we're seeing anything. In terms of, if we're talking about the Liverpool game last year, I know we lost that game 7-0, right? But it just wasn't a 7-0 game. If you look at the XG, Liverpool had just over 2. Now, they've got good players. You expect them to overperform that. It was probably a 3-0 game, which obviously is still bad and it's still unacceptable, but it's not as bad as the 7-0. I don't see a 7-0 here. Might be famous last words. I just don't think it will happen. Again, I might be wrong with that. I'm not sure. I think last year, this is genuinely my opinion, I think last year against Liverpool, I think we were the better team in the first half. And I will die on that hill. We were 1-0 down at half time, but I genuinely believe we were the better team in the first half. Both teams had tactical flaws, etc. Liverpool just performed weirdly well in the second half. The finishing was an absolute joke. And also United threw in a towel towards the end. You don't see a 7-0, okay, it will be 8-0. That's the spirit. For me, it's performance 100%. I don't mind losing if we play well. I think it's also not just about playing well. It's also like what we're trying to do. If we're trying the right things, but perhaps lose because they're more confident, they got a home crowd behind them, it's a bit more understandable. If we try the wrong things and lose, and have the wrong approach, then it would be frustrating more so. You're just not going to watch. I understand that. For me personally, I'm someone who will watch the team through thick and thin, but I see where you're coming from. I can understand why people wouldn't want to watch the game. Maybe I will see the result and regret not watching. I reckon so. I reckon you'll regret it. So AJ, you prefer a competitive game but lose 3 or 4-0? The problem with that is I think Ten Hag would lose his job at that point. That's the problem I have with that. Did anyone notice that against Bayern, our subs bench consisted of 5 kids? Injuries are an issue. I mean, if you go through the injured 11 before this game, or before we got that latest news, obviously, we've got Tyrell Malacia in defence, Harry Maguire, Lissandro Martinez. We thought Luke Shaw was going to be out, but he's now alright. Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes suspended. We thought Marcus Rashford was out on the left wing, but obviously he's now back. Martial up front, Jadon Sancho nowhere near the squad, Amad Diallo. There's a ridiculous amount of players out of this squad. The roster has been rocked by injuries all season. Heavy. Completely agree. I completely agree. The amount of injuries this season has been an absolute joke. Let me just go find some more quotes from Erik ten Hag on Twitter. Injuries are an issue, but for some reason the Man United manager isn't. I think it's both. I think it's injuries, and I think the manager is getting things wrong. So let's head over back to some of the quotes. Once we've gone through the quotes, we'll understand the team news. Then we can set up a tactical approach to the game. That's the plan for this stream. I'm also waiting for a few regulars to join who I'm waiting for. Erik ten Hag asked who will be captain. He knows who it will be. I hadn't even thought of that, really. Ten Hag asked if he is concerned about another thrashing versus Liverpool. No, we will put out a team who can challenge, a team that is confident to win that game. We prep the team as best as we can, and the team to win there. You wouldn't expect anything else, really, in terms of comments. Ten Hag asked if his United players are scared to face Liverpool. I haven't seen that last season. We were scared there. It was a bad experience, but it's not similar, and you start again. Nothing interesting really coming out of this so far. This comment here is interesting. Ten Hag on Rasmus Højlund. He scored in the highest level in the Champions League with 5 goals. That's a huge performance from a young player. And you see he has the potential. I'm sure he will get there and score in the Premier League. I see how he works in training. I've got a video on that coming out in the morning. So keep an eye out for that. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting coming out of this press conference at the moment. In terms of team news, I think we've got as much as what we are going to get. Maybe Victor Lindelof news. I would like to hear about that. Edwick saying the problem with our injuries is we don't have good depth either. Yeah, I completely agree. I also think at the same time, if you injured 10 City players, I think they would struggle, and they've obviously got quite good depth. Codename saying I'd rather Shaw at left centre-back to prevent him completely 1 versus 1 against Salah, but I can't trust Reguilon defensively though. Maybe Dallo at left-back or an inverted full-back. Quite like the sound of that personally. The way that Bayern overloaded Dallo's side and left so much space for Coman, if Liverpool do the same, Salah will have a field day. Who played left-back the other night? I can't... Who played left-back the other night? It was Shaw. Yeah, it was Shaw, wasn't it? That's like if you played a Carabao Cup game and the entire squad got injured. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Interesting comment from VK here. For your information, a team from last season against Liverpool: David De Gea, Diogo Dalot, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Fred Casemiro. Weghorst played as our attacking midfielder in that game. We had Bruno Fernandes on the left wing, Anthony on the right wing, Marcus Rashford up top. And that was a big frustration for me last season. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is a great player. A really great player. One of the best fullbacks ever. But the fact that we didn't put an informed Rashford up against him, this was a Rashford which was probably, for that 6 weeks, the most dangerous player on the planet. The fact that we didn't put Rashford against him and test him out defensively really was frustrating. We obviously saw Fernandes out wide in that game. I would like to see us go for a winger out wide and take him on. Fortunately, I think we'll see it just because of our lack of other options, really. But it will be interesting to see whether that is Rashford or Garnacho, because the defensive shift of our wingers will be important in this game as well. Something I'll come on to in a second. My take to play against Liverpool was force them on the left because Tsimikas was the most vulnerable in the defensive line. Yeah, Tsimikas is struggling for form at the moment as well. He's actually quite a good player. He's quite a good squad player and a little bit underrated. At the moment, I think he's struggling quite a lot for form. I also don't think this Liverpool midfield is that well balanced. I don't think Endo is particularly good as a holding midfielder. Darwin Núñez, of course, massively threatening, but not the cleanest player you're ever going to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gakpo up front in this game. Also tried to be aggressive on Endo. He was prone to error when facing aggressive presses. So should we quickly take a look at the press? The idea of United pressing high. And what we're going to do to start off with is look at what United done last season against Liverpool, which went so horribly wrong. Now, ignore the personnel we've got on screen here, because obviously it's a very different team, but just focus on the positions. So, of course, it was Fernandes, not Garnacho, but just focus that it's a left winger. So this is what we're going to focus on. Basically, United last season used a certain pressing structure, which we saw pretty much all season. We've seen it in glimpses this season as well. And Liverpool exploited it more than any other team in the league. That pressing structure is this one, where you work the ball one way like this. Our striker goes across. our near side winger comes across, the far side winger comes all the way across onto the centre-back. And what this does is it leaves a full-back free here. Now, because Liverpool have a lot of technical players in their midfield, Fabinho would have been the 6th last year, they were always able to find this player. Last season, in this particular game, the 7-0 game, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson had more touches than anybody else on the pitch. They were the 2 highest players, 4 touches in this game. And that was because United's pressing structure was really poor. Now, you might think, can our fullback not come out and be super aggressive here? But it didn't really work like that. Because what they done was they played Cody Gakpo up front. And what he was always doing was dropping into this position here. So United were man for man in midfield like this. Gakpo would then drop deeper. This draws our defender, I think it was Rafael Varane most of the time, into this position here. So because Varane has been dragged out, we can't now also drag out Dalot. So Dalot would sit deeper. But this just meant that all day long in that game, the Liverpool fullbacks had all the time in the world, all the pitch in the world really, to just carry the ball forward and do whatever they want. And again, last season when we're talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson, we're talking about 2 of the best fullbacks the Premier League's ever seen. So that was a real problem for United. The problem actually got even worse than that in spells as well, because Liverpool started to use Alisson on the ball. Now, what you do when you use the keeper on the ball is you put them up a few yards and in the middle. This allows the centre-backs to split, and this is where United had a real problem, because now what we saw was the striker, it would have been Rashford in that game, here on Alisson, Antony coming up towards Van Dijk, and it would have been Bruno Fernandes in this game coming up towards the centre-back. However, what it's done for Liverpool was it meant that they now had both of their fullbacks free. And that was a real problem. And in midfield, United were man for man, but of course the negative side of that is that you can be dragged into different positions. Then they've got their striker dropping in here, creating an overload in the centre of the park. Varane's trying to follow them, but there's now runners off the ball. Darwin Núñez played left wing in that game. United got torn apart. And a lot of it started with a bad pressing structure. So that, I think, that's the first thing we need to really address here. How we're going to press, if we're going to press at all. But whatever we do, it cannot be the same as last season, where you're giving Trent Alexander-Arnold more touches than anyone else on the ball, anyone else on the pitch, and he hasn't really had to work to do it. That's a problem. So, first things first, would you guys press, or would you sit off in more of a mid-block? If you are going to press, how would you press? And perhaps what would your pressing trigger be? Matt saying, if Trent gets as much space as we've given up in the centre recently, it's big, big trouble. Of course, yeah, Liverpool do use some slightly different structures this season, so it wouldn't be exactly the same. For example, Darwin Núñez plays a lot of games up front. He wants to go the other way a bit more. So perhaps that maybe plays into United's hands a little bit. The midfield structure is slightly different. Trent Alexander-Arnold actually often takes up a much more central position. Sometimes he will be the one dropping between the centre-backs. Sometimes he'll be just in front of them. So it's a different system. But I'm interested here as an idea, would you go and press? Codename just straight up saying, nope. Thriller saying, should we go for a mid-block? I think there's certainly an argument for it. Should we go mid-block then, says VK. I think that would be my approach. I think if we press this team, I think it's going to hurt, as I've seen in chat there. Pressing is dangerous. It could backfire, as it has many times, like against Bournemouth. I don't think I would press in this game, personally. Now, that might be a little bit disappointing to hear, right? Because I think we sit here as football fans and we see Manchester United against Liverpool. What you want here is 2 teams going toe-to-toe, head-to-head, battling it out. And that, at the moment, in this world of football, does often involve a high press. But I just don't think... I don't think it's the plan for United in this game. Because I think... First of all, if we were to, let's say, go for the current United press... We have the same problem as last season. That is very much often still our pressing structure. It leaves gaps. It's a real problem. The other problem is that Liverpool push their forwards high. We push our defence quite deep. If you're going to open up the midfield in this area, when Liverpool have got some good ball carriers, Ryan Gravenberch, could be Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, these are good ball carriers. Players who will hurt you and just eat up the ground in the middle of the park. I don't think United can actually compete in that sense in midfield in this game. So I think pressing in our normal structure would be a bad idea. Could we press in a better structure? We could. There is definitely the potential for that. But realistically, let's say we were to go for... What structure should we go for? Let's go for a structure where we push our fullback high, right? So let's say Liverpool, by default, at a goal kick, for example, are in this position. And United go for a pressing structure, which I would normally recommend, right? If United do this, Do we back our players here in the individual battles defensively? I don't think we do. Gravenberch against Amrabat, problem. Szoboszlai against the inexperienced Kobe Mainu, it's a problem. Salah isolating someone like Lindelof, it would be a problem. So I just don't think we should. I don't think we should press. Why not Wan-Bissaka? Sorry, joining late. No worries for joining late, mate. I hope you're well. We haven't actually come on to the starting 11 yet. Absolutely, you could play Wan-Bissaka in this game. Salah against Lindelof, barbecue chicken. Yeah, we can't leave that isolation. But I also don't fancy Luke Shaw isolated against him either. Salah versus Lindelof, exactly. It's a long old day. I just don't think we should do it. McTominay can't play as a number 10. I think Hannibal will play next to Amrabat and McTominay. It's an interesting shout. Maguire's still injured. Yes, he's out for this game, but Ten Hag doesn't think it will be a long-term injury. We need to sit deep and pray for a good break. Okay, so we are agreed that the high press probably isn't the best strategy for this game, right? I think everyone agrees on that, which I also agree. I think a mid-block approach is the better strategy. The problem with United's mid-block, and how do I say this without sounding harsh to the players? Our players aren't very clever. I didn't do it very well, did I? I definitely still sounded harsh. Let's ignore the starting 11 for a second, apart from Scott McTominay, and let's say United go for more of a mid-block shape. That could be a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1. 4-5-1 probably the slightly more secure shape in deeper areas because we've got this extra central midfielder. Now, recently there's been talk from Erik Ten Hag himself about this whole idea of do United press man-to-man in midfield. He claims, no, that's not what we want to do. When we do it, it's because we've done something wrong in the deeper phase. And it's all well and good saying that, but the problem is our players are getting it wrong quite a lot. That's the problem we've got here. So the big issue is when you are using a man-to-man structure, it's fine in certain spells, but importantly, your striker has to set the tone. Your striker has to decide whether you're pressing or not. If your striker isn't pressing, the rest of the team should not be pressing. So let's say Højlund goes aggressive here and presses Konate like this, forces him one way. Absolutely fine. Let's lock on. Let's go aggressive. Man for man like this. Have a spare player at the back. That's fine. Let's lock on. Try and win the ball back. Happy days. What isn't okay is if Højlund on this one occasion, which is completely fine by the way, goes, all right, lads, let's just stay in our shape for a second. We don't need to go press. Let's get some energy back. Keep the pitch nice and tight, basically. Reduce spaces in between the lines. I'm not going to press on this occasion. That's completely fine. But what the United midfield has a bad tendency for doing is not recognising that cue of change. So Højlund goes, I'm not going to press this time, but the United midfielders still go man for man. And that's now a problem, because it means the centre-back on the ball can just carry the ball forward. We saw Fabian Schär do it against us the other week for Newcastle. It was a real problem in that game, that the midfield didn't recognise the trigger of we're no longer pressing here. It happened against Chelsea as well. United were by far the better team in that game. But for the goal, Højlund decides we're not going to press high, we're not going to apply pressure, so we need to sit in the mid-block. However, our midfield was more like this structure in that particular game, just because of how it had played out, and it allowed Chelsea to carry the ball forward through here. The Mudryk at the time got the ball into this position, and Chelsea were well away because the United midfield hadn't recognised that cue of change. That is something which I really, really hope the United players have been working on. That shift between, okay, we're aggressive and pressing, and now, okay, our striker has decided we're not pressing anymore, now we've got to be compact. So what should happen is that when Højlund goes, all right, I'm not going to press the ball, the team should be compact. So let's say Gravenberch now drops here. If Højlund isn't pressing, McTominay does not need to follow Gravenberch into this position because he's just opening up all this space. If we're going man for man, do it. If we're not, if Højlund has decided we're not pressing, let Gravenberch drop there. Instead, let's hold our position. It might be a 4-5-1 like this. It might be a 4-2-3-1. Might be a 4-4-2. But if one player, your striker chooses if you press or not. That's what the striker does. Particularly a player like Rasmus Højlund as well, who is intelligent with the way that he presses. If he decides we're not pressing, the midfield has to recognise that. And when that happens, the wingers have to come in a few yards, which I think we're struggling with at the moment. But the midfield just has to recognise that cue of, okay, now we're being compact, blocking the spaces. If United get that wrong in this game, it will hurt us. Just on the winger situation, I think Garnacho and Antony have worked incredibly hard in recent games. Defensively, they're covering a lot of ground. They're pressing high. They're sprinting back. Garnacho in particular, when he loses the ball, is right back there, and I love the tenacity from him. But the pair of them are still lacking a bit of defensive intelligence, in that they're often defending too wide. So if the opposition's fullbacks are wide, they seem to think they've got to be quite close to them, which, when you're playing in a mid-block, isn't the case. So let's say Konate has the ball here. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets the ball. Our wingers seem to think, okay, now I need to be super aggressive and push wide. When we're in our mid-block, we don't really need to do that. If we are going to do it, the whole team's got to go. Once again, either all press or all sit off. Realistically, what you need to do in this position is sit here and block passes into this sort of zone. That's something which United have to do much, much better. Mid-block and Højlund all over Endo. Yeah, there's definitely... Endo is someone you can get at, because I think he's not that great. AJ, would you do a video discussing which player you would sell and keep? I want to do a stream on it before Christmas or just after Christmas. But yep, I do plan on doing that. Our player's Big Dum Dum. Yeah, pretty reasonable. Have United used a mid-block this season? Not that I can recall. Certainly not to a good level. It was a bit more like it against Bayern, to be fair. But the spacing was just horrible. But last season, we were actually quite good at it at times. AJ, I don't know about you. Often in a match, I rather only see Anthony constant communicate with other teammate through gesture, like hand waving, either press high, maybe just me. You'll often see Anthony kind of squeeze as high to join the press. He looks over his shoulder and see that the others haven't come with him. That's where either Anthony hasn't recognised it or the rest of the team hasn't. Again, that has to be better. They've got players that can really switch it on, bunch up and hurt us. With interplay and ball carrying, so that space management will be vital. It's the most important thing. Nuruddin has donated, or gifted I should say, another 10 channel memberships. Nuruddin, that is ridiculously generous of you. Thank you so much. So 10 of you have now become members, and VK, I love to see that you're now a member, because I know that you've been having trouble with that. Nuruddin, you are an absolute legend. So everyone which has now become a member has a badge next to their name to show that they are a member, so you stand out in chat. I can see your messages easier in chat. You also get a load of custom emojis. So check the emoji pack, you'll see different emojis you can use, and there's more coming soon. Thank you, Nuruddin, so much for that donation and the gifting of the membership. That is so generous. Everyone who is now a member, spam love hearts. Spam the green love hearts, the flames, the caps, the 100, spam everything. Nuruddin, thank you so much for that. Enjoy your new membership, everybody. Nuruddin, that is legendary behaviour. Thank you so much for that donation. That's incredible. I've completely lost what I was talking about. That is so generous of you. Thank you so much. That is now 20 memberships that Nuruddin has gifted today. That's so generous. Amu saying, keep up the good work, AJ. Thank you very much. This is a bit superstitious, but anytime I watch your analysis, United always win. Well, we win then, right? Happy days, we win. We win. You need to watch more of my videos, though, that means. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. I hate YouTube's membership blocking in some countries. Hope this helps some. Nuruddin, that is so generous of you. Like I said, I know a few people have had trouble with that. So you have genuinely helped a lot of people there. So thank you so much. Just Let It Be saying thank you. Ray saying thank you. Thank you again, Nuruddin. That is so generous. Why Ten Hag doesn't try Pellistri in midfield? Do you mean on the wide right? I think the battle against Tsimikas could be interesting. Whoever plays right-hand side. Something just came to me which I hadn't thought of. Marcus Rashford has been confirmed fit by Erik Ten Hag. Not in terms of appearance, I mean, he's available for the game. The last few times we've seen Rashford, it's been on the right-hand side. Could we see that in the game? Because I was thinking, right, if we play Rashford, it's really harsh to drop Garnacho. Could we see Garnacho and Rashford on the wings? Or is Rashford not good enough defensively? Let me know what you think. Code name. What did you say there? Sorry, I just missed it. 89 watching, but 5 likes. Is there only 5 likes? That is poor. as Codename said there, the rumour has it, if you like my stream, Lisandro Martinez recovery date will push much earlier. So you should really like the stream because, you know, we want Lisandro Martinez back. MUFC saying you can't have watched much of his analysis. Yeah, fair point. I think Garnacho is still best as a substitute at the moment. Okay, alright, maybe what we'll do then, rather than quickly coming up with the tactical idea, should we go through a starting 11? He might play Rashford as a 10 where Bruno played. We did experiment with that in a couple of games last season, towards the end of the games, so we could see that. Ronaldo, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Saying, I'm not that worried with us off the ball. I'm more worried about us on the ball because we can hardly score a goal. Yeah, I think the first thing in this game will be to be compact, more than anything to get a bit of confidence behind us. But then you're absolutely right. We do have to open up and score goals. Edwick saying, AJ, you didn't do a video reviewing the Bayern game. I was waiting all day for it. I was going to. I had it all planned. And I done a poll on YouTube. I'm not sure if everyone saw it or not. Just asking, basically, if people wanted me to cover it or not. Just because it was a really dry game, right? Like, Bayern didn't really get out of first gear. United were pretty poor all night. It was almost ended up being irrelevant because of the result in the other game. So I done a poll asking if people wanted a video. And about 80% said no. So I thought I'd give it a skip. I also want to get some more positive content on the channel, which you would have seen this morning and yesterday. So yeah, apologies that we didn't get video on that. But people just didn't seem to want it. If you start Rashford and Garnacho, you don't have anyone to come on and impact the game running against tired legs. Should we go for our starting 11 then? You guys, you guys are absolutely incredible today. VK has just gifted 10 channel memberships. 10 channel memberships from VK. Thank you so much, VK. 10 of you are now members who weren't members before, and it has cost you literally nothing individually. We've now had 30 members gifted today. That is incredible. Thank you guys so much. VK, you are an absolute legend. It's great that you've now got your membership as well. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. So 10 of you have been selected at random. You are now a channel member. So make sure to say thank you. Get in a chat and say thank you to VK because that is legendary behaviour. I really do appreciate it. We've had 30 memberships donated today. That is just incredible. My new members, make sure to use the love hearts, use the flames, use the cap emojis. Just like Matt's doing there and Codename as well. Showing off the emojis. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Look at this for a comment, by the way, from Amu. This is cool. Saying, AJ, your advice really helped me for my department team. My team is the most exciting to watch in the university. Thank you so much. I am Nigerian and would love to meet you. I'm glad to hear that my content has helped someone. I love to hear that. Thank you so much for the kind words. 6 likes for the stream. Yeah, Codename, I believe that's glitched. On my end, it says about 30. Which still isn't enough, by the way, guys. Like the stream. The channel's on fire today? Absolutely. Who are the 3 starting midfielders since Bruno Fernandes is banned? Realistically, it looks like it will be Amrabat, Kobbie Mainoo and Scott McTominay. Hannibal Major's probably got a shout. Could we see something random where someone else plays in there? I doubt it. I think we should try what Postecoglou did versus Newcastle by playing a winger in the 10 role. Who would you go for? Would you go for say like a Marcus Rashford there? Or, as Lightning has just said, maybe an Anthony in that position. AJ should go for a Pro C coaching license, start local. AJ could be the next Xabi Alonso. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the kind words. A lot of talks there about Anthony potentially playing in the 10, or Sancho if he hadn't. Yeah. Do you think Hannibal is United level? Not personally. Mainoo or Scott as the number 10? I could become Xabi Alonso as a ceiling, but the floor mostly 10 times better than Ollie. Thank you very much. Let's figure out our starting 11, because I keep getting distracted because you guys are being so generous in chat. So again, thank you very much for all the donations and the gifted memberships. Enjoy your memberships, guys. That you're a privileged bunch to get them. Centre back. We're all gonna say Raphael Varane, right? Agreed. Raphael Varane starts. Would you go for Victor Lindelof, who we're not even sure if he's fit, which is a good point? Would you go for Johnny Evans or would you go for Luke Shaw? The good thing, like VK is pointing out there with academy players, is you do get a fight from them. Which is Shaw fit for Sunday? Yeah, he's been confirmed fit by Erik ten Hag this afternoon. Did I say Onana centre back? Did I say that? Let me start a poll real quick for this. If I can find where to... Have they changed this? They've changed where I do the poll. Here we go. I just pressed the wrong thing. Never mind. So I'm going to put left centre back. And we're going to have Shaw. We're going to go Lindelof. I'll put a question mark because we're not sure if he's fit. And we'll go for Johnny Evans. Can you imagine if we have to rock up to Anfield in 2023 with Johnny Evans? I assume most people will go for Luke Shaw. AJ, just a joke. Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if I'd missaid something. All good. Can do Palestri players at number 10? Not sure. I don't see the skill set there personally. I don't think physically he uses his body well enough, perhaps. 3-5-2, AJ. Rather safe than sorry. Fair shout. Could Hannibal be the new Fred? Sorry. In terms of using him as an energetic player in this sort of game, possibly. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right centre back, Varane centre back, Shaw left centre back, with Reguilon and Dalot as wing backs. Let me quickly whack that on the screen for you. So hang on. So we got Shaw left centre back, Varane middle centre back, Wan-Bissaka like this. What do you guys make of that? Obviously, we're going to drop one of our midfielders to do this. Realistically, Mainu would probably be the one gone. What would you guys make of something like this, perhaps? Like a much more defensive approach. Something like that, maybe. Let me know what you think. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Varane, and Dalot as the back four. I think Dalot, certainly at left back, if we are going for a back four, does have value in it. I think that could work quite nicely. Make sure to vote in the poll, guys. Ronaldo saying you can't see the poll. I don't know why you can't see that. Onana is deep line playmaker. Johnny Evans. Evans or Lindelof gives you that ball in behind, to be fair. True. Could work for a smash and grab. You need to counter the aerial threat of Nunez and Gakpo. Raphael Varane's box defence would be very important here. The best defence is attack. I like that. I sense a penalty from Shaw with the way their front line can bounce it around in tight spaces. Tends to either lash out or be too firm in trying to make up for it when he gets caught out. He doesn't mind leaving a foot in as well. Corey, mate, good to see you. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Erik ten Hag has confirmed this afternoon that Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford are fit for this game. Shaw can stop Salah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Excuse the pun. Not sure. That's more like a 3-4-3. Yeah, that shape was, yeah. That's just what someone had said about in chat, so I thought I'd put it on screen and see if it could work. At the moment, Shaw is winning the poll with 59% of the votes, but I want to see some more votes, guys. Let's get to at least 35 votes on this poll. That'd be great. I really like to see McTominay as a striker because he is not doing anything in the midfield. Would you drop Rasmus Højlund to see that or no? Raphael Varane and Evans are both good box defenders. You're one short player. Yeah, in this shape I am, yeah. Let's bring Kobbie Mainoo back in. Do something like this. How many votes we got in the poll? 32, 33. Let's get 2 more votes in. Shaw could stop Haaland partially. Yeah, he did to an extent, to be fair. Mainoo has to play, says Corey. I would absolutely start him. A little bit concerned, a little bit of a concern, I should say, sorry, that when he came on the other day, did anyone notice the strapping around his knee? I don't like to see that on a young player. Not that a young player doesn't deserve to have the strapping and the medical care, But I'm always worried when a young player is playing with any sort of injury, because you never know what it means for the long term of their career. And it does make me wonder if that is some of the reason he hasn't been playing in recent weeks. I wonder if there's a sense of precaution there and protecting him a little bit. There was also a picture online yesterday of him in a boot again. I don't know if that's a new picture or not. Even with the strap, he was brilliant. Oh yeah, his touches, by the way. Like, Kobe Mainoo's little cameo in that game, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely incredible by him. So, I really want to see him in this game if he's fit. Ali with the donations. Thank you so much, Ali. $20 saying, I'm unable to donate memberships. I don't know why YouTube is like that. Sorry about that. Saying, I hope this helps the channel. Thank you to Alex, Nuruddin and VK for all the donations to allow this community to enjoy these perks. Big up, everyone. Big up you, Ali. Thank you so much for the donation. Those of you that have missed it and haven't been here, we've had 30 different memberships gifted today by VK and Nuruddin. Now we've got Ali coming in with the big donations as always. Thank you so much, Ali. Like I said, it's a shame that YouTube doesn't let you donate things and things like that, but I hope you enjoy your membership now you've got it. And again, thank you so much for the donation. All my members, because I know there's a lot of you, let's just turn the chat green. Turn that chat green. Let's get love hearts in there, the 100 emoji, the flame emoji. Get this chat green. Turn the chat green with love hearts, guys. Everyone who's a member. You know what I'm going to do? Because you guys have been so generous as well. I'm going to turn off adverts. Get out of here. Let me skip that advert. There you go. Turn the chat green, guys. That looks pretty cool. Good stuff, guys. Thank you very much. We've also hit our 35 votes in the poll as well. Luke Shaw has one bald man emoji. The best emoji of the lot, right? I need to make some more emojis. Let me know what you guys would like to see. Either on Discord you can drop me a message, or on here you can drop a message. Let me know what other emojis you guys would like access to. Mainoo's last injury was an ankle, so I'm not worried about his knee. Yeah, fair enough. Perhaps it's just a knock. Lindelof is needed in this game. We'll need his height and defensive awareness. I would normally agree with a natural centre-back, but I'm not sure Lindelof brings physical presence. Varane and Evans centre-back pairing, says Edwick. Hey AJ, what are your thoughts on Skyrim? Chad, I love your random questions. What was it you asked the other day? Just love it, mate. We need a big brain emoji. I like the idea of that. More bald men, says Chad. Let me know which bald men you'd like. A buster emoji is a good shout as well. YouTube has to sort itself out. I'm not going to badmouth YouTube, but you guys can say what you want to say. Ronaldo saying, can't wait for the channel to reach 100k. The progress has slowed down a little bit on the channel in the past few months, but we've hit 21k now, which, you know, the plan for the year was 20,000 subscribers. So we've hit that thanks to you guys. We had a big explosion in the summer, basically, where we really grew quickly. I'd love it if this time next year we could be hitting 40k and then push for 100 the next year, maybe. Can we do that? To do that, I need you guys to keep sharing the content, which you guys do brilliant. You support everything. Even the videos you're not interested in, just watch them, put them on in the background, right? It helps the video, it helps the channel. We need a tactical board emoji. I like the idea of that as well. Maybe I'll do a vote on that at some point. I'll do a poll on the community page. Good idea. VK, I tried. It was a Google issue for some reason. Sorry, I don't know why I read that out like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. We should be solid defensively if we want to win or draw. I think that really is the most important thing. Being compact first, then let's be open. However, I've had enough of this, right? Let's stop talking about how we can stop Liverpool. How can we stop Liverpool? I'll tell you now. Play in a mid-block, be compact, look for certain triggers. However, I want to switch it up. How can we attack Liverpool? So, Liverpool probably going to have the possession in this game, right? We're going to be compact. We're going to sit off often in a nice compact shape. Our wingers are going to be tucked in. Højlund's going to decide when we press, but our midfielders are going to be close to each other. Our centre-backs are going to be aggressive. Our full-backs are going to deal with the wingers when the ball goes wide, but we're going to be compact and stop the ball in the middle. That's the key here. Salah's on his creative arc these days. Stop Mohamed Salah. So defensively, we know what we need to do. Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to be followed, needs to be marshalled, all of that good stuff. But let's switch it up a little bit. How can we go the other way? How can we go hurt them? Let me know what you think. Tactical board emoji is a great idea. I like the idea of that. I'm tired of this inverted winger nonsense that's not working for us. If we want Højlund to get service, let's play traditional wingers. So what would you like? Swap Anthony to the other side and then Rashford or Garnacho on the right, maybe? Man United are one of the few clubs that can ruin talent. Almost happened to the likes of Sancho and Di Maria. It can't happen to Kobbie Mainoo. We cannot let it happen to Kobbie Mainoo. We cannot let it happen. Ball over the top for Rashford. We need to double down on Salah. Yeah, Salah. The problem if you try and put two players on one, you're leaving someone else free. That's the problem here. Does Rashford have the work rate to follow Alexander-Arnold? Obviously, that again comes back to our starting 11. Should we do a poll on that? I think the midfield 3 is decided. I think this 3 will play. We've decided on this back 4. Unless you guys want different fullbacks, let me know what you think. Let me quickly make a poll. And I'm going to just title it wingers, right? So I see 3 options. So we've got Rashford and Anthony. We've got Garnacho. Oh, don't want to type that in all capitals. No one likes all capital messages, so I didn't mean to press that, sorry. And we got, if I can type here. This is bad, sorry guys. Bit of a boomer. Wingers, Rashford and Anthony, Garnacho, Rashford. There we go. Bosh. Let me know what you'd go for. We've got to think which of these guys are going to be the best for attacking Liverpool, but also defending our goal. It's a mixture of both. Tsimikas was not the best though. Yeah, oh my voice crack. Jesus. You can get a Tsimikas for sure. He's good though. Long balls is the way. Rashford has to earn his start if he wants to start. Yeah, obviously we're also not fully aware on how fit he is. Ten Hag has said he's available, but if you're overcoming illness, is his body a little bit weak? Is he lacking energy? Can he only be playing 20-30 minutes? This might sound crazy, but how about Aaron Wan-Bissaka at left back? I assume you mean for the defensive approach on Salah. I think there's... I see what you're cooking. I just think the problem would be in possession. I think you would lose quite a lot there. I think, because obviously being right-footed but at left back, you'd typically want someone to invert, and I'm not sure that suits Wan-Bissaka. Defensively, I completely get what you're saying. It would actually be interesting to see him defend on the other side, just to see if his slide tackles are as good with his left as what they are with his right. That would be interesting to see. Either Rashford or Garnacho to handle left wing as an impact sub, so you're only starting one of them, so we have a sub. I see what you're saying there. Why hasn't Ten Hag tried Garnacho on the right wing? I'm not really too sure. Not really too sure. I just guess he doesn't have the skill set for it. Because I think it's quite easy, right, to say if you can play left wing, you can play right wing, but I don't think it's strictly true. Because the principles are the same of dribble, create, blah, blah, blah. But you do everything almost exactly opposite to what you do on the other side, right? So let's say if I receive a pass like this, outside, when I play right wing, if I'm facing this way, if I rotate it a little bit, it's going to be on my left foot. Whereas the second I play this side, it's going to be on my right foot. So I think it's just little things like that which people don't really pick up. I'm personally a big fan of wingers which do swap sides here and there. Ali will tell you how much I love that. But yeah, I think that's probably why. Garnacho, perhaps his reception just isn't very good on this side. To be fair, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has a level of press resistance, but is awkward. Yeah, I think aesthetically it's not very pleasing, but I think he is more press resistant than what he's given credit for. I think it'd be his passing would be more my concern with moving him. Both Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dalot are awful in defending the back post on either side. Dalot in particular goes through spells. Wan-Bissaka is bad at it. Dalot goes through spells where like he'll have a period where he's quite good at it and actually defends the back post really well and heads the ball away quite a lot. He's decent in the air. And then he has other times where he's just absolutely horrendous. Where's FP? I'm not sure where he is. He said in Discord that he was about, but I'm not sure where he is. I agree Hannibal should play as well. He has much more fight in him than McTominay. So you'd like to see Hannibal in here maybe. How many votes we got on this poll at the moment? 33 votes out of 87 people, 41 likes. I reckon we can up that a little bit. Let's get to at least 35 votes on the poll. I've wondered if Aaron Wan-Bissaka would serve as a good right mid in a 4-4-2, where his ability to shadow defend down the wing isn't countered by his back post lapses. Interesting idea. Also, maybe at wing back you'd get something similar. Last season against West Ham at home, against Skamaka, Dalot cleared 4 back post aerial balls. He can be decent at it. He just, like I said, he just has lapses. FP's busy with studies, me too, but this is my favourite break time with AJ. Do you know FP in real life? Does anyone else know each other in real life? If so, that's pretty cool. Nuruddin, if you do know FP in real life, tell him I said hi. Poll, who will captain the side? That's a good poll to do as well. I like the idea of that. That's a good poll to do. Wan-Bissaka played well against Bayern. Aaron Wan-Bissaka would still slide tackle with his right foot even at left back. Possibly, yeah. Højlund hasn't done anything in the Premier League, so I prefer McTominay as a number 9. Fair enough. I think the misconception with McTominay... Sorry, I'm just trying to hold off a sneeze here. I think the misconception with McTominay is that because he scores a lot of goals, he's a striker. But if you look at all of his goals this season, nearly all of them come where Højlund's made a run and taken centre-backs away, allowing McTominay to crash into the box. Whereas when you play actually as the solo... the actual striker, you don't get someone else taking players away for you. If only we had Gravenberch, yeah, he'd have been a handy player in a game like this. Unfortunately, they've got him. I wonder if McTominay plays for the physical side of the game. If Liverpool do line up with, say, a Curtis Jones or Gravenberch, they do bring a bit of size. You don't know FP in real life, but we've been around UPTV community for 2 years, and we were brothers in arms in the De Gea War. We scout players in our spare time together. That's pretty sick. So you guys know each other through online. Love that. Well, tell him I said hi anyway. Wan-Bissaka's attacking game is bad for a player who was a winger in his attacking days. I think it's a little bit underappreciated. But yeah, he's not great there. McTominay is literally Fellaini. McTominay is playing guaranteed. Yeah, I think McTominay will play. I'd be amazed if he doesn't. I don't actually have a problem with that. Personally, I probably... Would I? In this game, I would actually. But I think what's important is if we are using him, he cannot be this player which just comes up here. He can do it eventually. Let's say we sustain pressure, get into the final third, hold the ball, put the ball into the box. Yeah, I want to see McTominay crashing. But let's say the ball's in our third. I don't need to see him up front with Højlund then. In those instances, can he get deeper? The problem United might have in this game is that Liverpool's press is so much better than what it was last season. It's still not as good as what prime Liverpool and Klopp ball was, but it's a lot better than it was last season. It's gone up a few levels, they're much more intense, they win the ball back higher. That will be a concern. Having a player like Scott McTominay, who does have a bit of size, probably does help combat that a little bit. Kobbie Mainoo is also suited to that sort of environment. So perhaps Kobbie Mainoo will kind of help us be alright in that situation. But we're just going to have to see. FP is a real one. Yeah, FP's been on live streams pretty much since the first one I've done, I'm pretty sure. AJ, our team is very vulnerable against the press. Yeah, I completely agree. Last season it failed with Wout and Marcus, so hope Ten Hag don't do that. Yeah, they pushed quite high, didn't they, for a long ball. Going to be a problem if we try that. I didn't realise there were so many students on this channel. I'm starting to think I'm one of the old ones on this channel, lol. I think we've got quite a good mixture. I believe, on the analytics of the page, I believe the average age is between, most people are between 15 and 40. That's the average age range in there somewhere. Quite a big range, obviously. And we need McSauce, though. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai were massive lads. Yeah, I think we should play McTominay. I just don't want to see us pushing him forward crazily early. No Van de Beek shouts? Yeah, I just don't see it. Ali saying I'm turning 45 this January. And then VK saying, ouch, feel like an old man at 58 then, lol. Everybody is welcome on the channel. Everyone's now comparing ages. Is anyone over the age of 60? Anyone over the age of 60 deserves a membership, if you ask me. Corey saying he'd play Van de Beek, but oh well. Yeah, I just don't see him getting near it, realistically. Obviously, I understand the argument for playing him. Is Ten Hag going to? No. Guys, age is just a number in football. Absolutely spot on. Graphic saying, I am 64. Well, I can't actually give you a membership, so that was kind of a lie, but nice. Say if Ten Hag decides not to play Mainu due to the game being too big, who do you think would partner Amrabat? Let me go through the play. I got some players just off screen, right? Actually, I can probably just do this. Those are some of the guys we got up there. Lindelof, Hannibal, Reguilon, Bruno Fernandes, who obviously can't play, Facundo Pellistri, Garnacho, Martial. I actually physically think Kobbie Mainoo has to play. I think he has to play. I don't think there's any other option. Whereas Eriksen's still out injured, right? Until the new year, I believe, yeah. It happens like that, though, sometimes, right? You just almost forget that players exist at the club. Not understanding why we press so high lately. Too many players going forward, leaving the backline helpless. Yeah. Covered that a few times on the channel. We either need to all press or all drop off. Completely forgot he exists, though. Yeah. Ahmad, question mark, still injured. He's returned to training, I believe, but he's not ready to actually return to the starting 11 or playing just yet. Van de Beek can play. I just don't think it will happen, is the problem. Ten Hag called it a cardinal sin when Ollie didn't play Van de Beek, but he isn't doing the exact same thing. But isn't he? Yeah. I will never understand the Donny Van de Beek situation. The Sancho one, at least there seems to be at least that, like, the manager says he doesn't work hard or whatever. Whether there's truth to that, we don't know. The Donny Van de Beek situation is baffling. Absolutely mind-boggling. That sums it up. Edwick went, oh yeah, I forgot about Van de Beek. That probably sums it up. Do you think Ahmad can take Anthony's spot in the long run? I think Ahmad, if he wants to play in his team long term, he's going to have a slightly similar problem to Jadon Sancho. And that is that he wants to move inside and he needs runners around him. At the moment, Ten Hag's system doesn't always give you that. So, well, yeah, Dan Gore is another shout, I guess, who you could bring into the selection. But if we're not playing Kobbie Mainoo because it's a big game, then we're probably not playing Dan Gore either. Actually starting to like the idea of a 4-4-2 with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka doubling up on the right, Rashford left mid and Scott/Højlund up top, with Scott trying to harass Trent perhaps. Let's put that on paper real quick. Well, not on paper, on screen. In that, who are you putting right back? Who are you putting... What would people make of that sort of right... The problem is, though, with that, is we're actually kind of doubling up on the side which doesn't need it as much. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be miles off the point here. Was there a game recently where Reguilon played like the last 10 minutes on the left wing? Like the left side of midfield? I'm sure there was. I'm trying to think what game it was. Am I completely off of this? Oh, I'm trying to think what game it was. It's literally like 5 or 10 minutes he played there. Could we see, sorry for hitting the mic, could we see like that double up idea you're talking about, but on the other side with where Salah is? And go, like, I don't know, it takes Mainoo out is the problem. Like that, maybe? I don't know. VK with the donation saying, I go Hannibal, Mainoo, Amrabat, McTominay as a 4. Marcus and Højlund up top to peel into the channels. Yeah, I'll cover how that could work in just a second. We've also got Nuruddin gifting another 5 channel memberships. So generous. Thank you so much for gifting those. So 5 of you guys are now channel members, which weren't before. Again, turn the chat green, guys. Love hearts, flame emojis, 100 emojis, new emojis coming soon. Thank you so much, Nuruddin, once again for gifting those. And VK, thank you very much for the donation. Let's turn the chat green. for VK and Nuruddin. Love hearts, everything. Spam it in the chat if you are a member. And if you're not a member, use your normal emojis. Spam some love hearts. Show some love. Look at that. The chat's turning green. Green is taking over. Yes, the chat is turning green. Would anyone like this sort of idea? By the way, I'm not saying we should do this. It's just what came to my head there. We have got a ridiculous amount of fullbacks on the pitch like that. Look how green the chat is. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. MUFC with quite a blunt. No. Fair enough. What do you think about Graham Potter? For me, I think it's just rumours. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in it. I quite like him as a manager. But I don't think we're going to lose Ten Hag anytime soon. VK saying he thinks it was the Newcastle game. It might have been. I felt like there was a game though, right, where Reguilon just played a few there. Nuruddin saying I think playing very central is the way to go here. So perhaps more along the lines of the diamond, which VK was cooking up, which had Amrabat at the base. It had Kobe Mainu to one side, McTominay to the other side, and where's Hannibal? Here. Let's get rid of some players because we've got about 100 players on the pitch here. Did you say Rashford and Højlund up top? What would you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this shape? Obviously, we've kind of ticked the primary principle defensively of getting players in the middle, compacting the centre of the pitch. Do you think there's potential in this shape? I will play devil's advocate in 1 second and throw up a problem. Just think the play's proper Sean Dyche ball. There's nothing wrong with a bit of Sean Dyche ball, as the league table will tell you. I think we will need more players like Hannibal. He has the most spirit and fight out of all the team. The ground he covers is just ridiculous. Double pivot is a must if we need to avoid an embarrassment. Could we, in that case, shift it to more of a 3-2? Which this shape would probably naturally do to an extent anyway. You guys talking about Van der Beek was a mystery even Sherlock Holmes may not be able to solve. Yeah, I'll never understand quite what happened there. I think we could sit here for a couple of weeks straight streaming and not know what on earth happened there. Super Arch, enjoy your new membership gifted by Nuruddin, mate. Hope you enjoy that. Yeah, do you think there's potential in this? The problem with this sort of shape, whether it's the 4-2-2 or the more natural diamond shape, is the Liverpool fullbacks. I think with a ball player like Trent might be too much responsibility for Reguilon to cover that space. Yeah, the problem would be this. Wouldn't do that. We need to go 1v1 against Trent and Tsimikas. Without Eriksen and Bruno, there's no proper set-piece taker apart from Shaw. He might need to play the full 90 minutes. That's a fair point. I think Reguilon has taken a few recently. So the problem with this is the opposition fullbacks. Liverpool can receive the ball in space. However, again, I'm going to keep throwing counterpoints up here. There is a benefit. Obviously, we played a diamond against Brighton. And it didn't work because when the ball went wide, we couldn't get out across to them. However, I believe maybe someone can check this. If one of my wonderful members could quickly check our starting 11 against Brighton. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I believe it had Casemiro at the base and Christian Eriksen to one side. And the problem with that was that as the ball went wide, particularly down this side, as Eriksen tried to get out, he just did not have the energy to get out there. And instead he couldn't get there, the fullback had time. This United midfield diamond, all of those players are quite energetic and quite mobile. So could we see a world where you set up like this initially, and the plan is to condense the middle of the pitch? If Trent inverts, that's even better for us, right? Because we've crowded this area. Realistically, he would then step outside of our structure and go to the right-hand side. Could we use it as a trigger, though, that as the ball goes across, we get across and shift to more of a flat 4-4-2? Leave the far fullback free, because we have to sacrifice somewhere. Could that be the strategy? And let's say the ball goes backwards into the middle like this. We'll then shift into more of a diamond shape. Then the ball comes down this side. We're going to shift out like this. The only problem with that is, do we want Hannibal being pulled into the double pivot? So perhaps, if we shift to more of a 4-2-2, it works. So we're compact in the middle. There's no obvious ball in here, particularly if our front two are able to piston press, which means that, let's say, Konate has the ball, Rashford goes towards, Højlund drops off. Ball goes across, the two of them now piston, like that. Block the middle of the pitch, and then as the ball goes wide, McTominay gets across, and we collapse. Amrabat comes across, Mainu comes across, Hannibal comes across, flat three in the middle, ball goes out the other side, Hannibal goes out, Mainu comes in, Amrabat comes in, McTominay comes in. Something like that could work. Having Rangnick flashbacks, that is the last thing you want. Let me skip these adverts for you guys. Get out of here, man. Let's have a quick read through the chat. Actually, let me have a drink first, because I've done a lot of talking today. The rest of the quotes on the Ten Hag press conference, by the way, will be out later. In the Brighton game, we had Onana, Reguilon, Dalot, Licha, Lindelof, Eriksen, Casemiro, McTominay, Fernandes, Højlund, and Rashid. Thank you very much, Nev. So yeah, if we're talking about a midfield of Casemiro and Eriksen, that covers a lot less ground than Amrabat and Hannibal. That's night and day, the ground coverage we get there. So perhaps you could use a similar structure, put different personnel into it, and it could work, possibly. Do you think they will smash in long shots early to test Onana? Also, we haven't scored at Anfield since Mourinho's last game in charge. Can we really score, given how bad we have been? 0-0 is the best hope. And is Shaw fit to play? Shaw is fit to play. Ten Hag confirmed this afternoon. Yes, I think we will see long shots. Onana, they're going to test him out, particularly at Anfield, where the atmosphere is going to be intense. It's not normally at Anfield in most of their games. You know, they sing, "You'll never walk alone," for like 10 minutes and then you don't hear them for the next 90. But for this game, it's a big game. The crowd will be behind them. So Onana's going to be under pressure. They will take long shots. Szoboszlai is going to be hitting shots from range in particular. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. Endo has scored one from range recently. Gravenberch doesn't mind a hit. Yeah, they will be trying this. Who will be our key passer? Could be Mainu and Amrabat, realistically. Exposed. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Saying it's not looking good, bro. We're trying. Any news on the takeover? Not that I've seen. Blow saying get the likes up, guys. Completely agree. Can we get to 50 likes? That'd be amazing. We've got a few less people in stream than what we'd normally have, but I think that's just because people are a bit pessimistic about the club at the moment, and that's completely fine. Hang on. Has Corey just said United are going to win 7-0? Codename, don't disagree with Corey. Corey's predictions are always close to being spot on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're winning the game. Happy days. Alex, good to see you, mate. Saying, AJ, sorry I'm late. Good to finally catch you after a while. No worries for being late, mate. Yes, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. How are you feeling about this game? We're trying to come up with a formation at the moment. I can't vote on any polls at the moment, saying Matt, YouTube's just giving me blank white boxes. I'm not sure what to do about that. I need to close that poll anyway, actually. Corey, you're not meant to turn back on it and say, I'm joking, Codename's right. That's not part of the deal here. We actually ended up with, by the way, with Garnacho and Anthony winning the vote. I didn't even realise that. Rashford and Anthony was top for ages. That's when we were using more of a winger system. I think the diamond definitely has potential. The diamond does have potential, as we've seen. There is a strategy there where you condense the middle of the pitch, the ball goes wide, you move out and collapse it. I'm just not sure that it will happen. I'm just not sure the diamond will happen. Are you suggesting play McTominay as a 10 and Hannibal on the right? We were kind of looking at 4-4-2 diamond / 4-2-2 shape. Someone said about it in chat, so we kind of experimented with that. This was just the only 4 midfielders we could find at the club. So they weren't naturally in those positions. It was more of a case of condensing the pitch initially. As the ball goes wide, move out like that. In that sort of structure. And then once the ball goes back into the middle, you move back again. The ball goes out the other side, let's say to Trent. You do a similar sort of thing. That's what we were discussing there. No worries at all, Alex, mate. You're good. McTominay is a 10 to carry, as Hannibal and Mainu more energetic to cover wide. McTominay's ball carrying could actually be handy in this game. A lot of people will sit there and say McTominay can't carry the ball. He can. He's not great at it, but he can carry the ball because he's got good size and physique. The problem with Scott McTominay isn't Scott McTominay as such. It's actually Erik ten Hag. I don't think Scott McTominay is the perfect player by any means, right? I think he's flawed in a lot of ways. But he does have a skill set. He's got two sets of skills almost. At the moment, we're using this one where he's basically a striker. And for me, we don't need that at this moment in time. I don't think we're complete enough to be able to sacrifice an entire player in possession. So we have to see a deeper McTominay. Every 11 is a makeshift 11 at the moment. Yeah. I dream of the day. We have on the channel here, we talk about structure, which is so balanced that we almost say the same thing every week with just a few little tweaks, rather than like drastic changes every week. AJ, what do you think about all this Potter talk? I think it's a load of nonsense, just because I don't think Ten Hag's going to go just yet. I think Potter is a much better manager than what he's getting credit for. I think if he'd been suggested just after leaving Brighton, I think everyone would have been sitting there going, we've got the next best young manager in the game. I think that was people's opinion on him at one point. So I think he is a good manager. But having said that, I don't think he is right for us. So I personally don't want Graham Potter. Amrabat is a good ball carrier. He just doesn't do it enough. I agree with that completely. I can't wait for January to arrive where we have one game for the month to ease the pain. Yeah, so we've got 2 games in January, but if we beat Wigan in the Cup, it goes up to 3. Now, it's going to be a shame not to have regular football, right? But it really represents an opportunity. One, to get a lot of players back fit. Lisandro Martinez might be fit by the end of January, that means. That'd be great. And it means our injured players are missing less games. But also, for the first time, it's time on the training pitch to focus on tactics. Let's talk about, during pre-season, you actually do quite a lot of physical work rather than tactical work. And then, as we've always been under Ten Hag, when you play Sunday, Thursday, or this season, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, you play on a Saturday, you recover on Sunday, you train on Monday, Tuesday, you might have a game again. Where do you do your tactical work like that? You don't really. And I think Ten Hag's systems are often so intricate, you need a lot of time tactically on the training pitch. Hopefully January might actually give us an opportunity to train tactics at Manchester United Football Club. Would you believe it? FA Cup ideal for match fitness. If we get knocked out, then so be it. Yeah, I think it's a good way to play some different players as well, but also maybe build some confidence. Rumour has it Ratcliffe is looking to build Brexit FC. Potter was interviewed for the Nice job, so the media means 1 + 1 = 10 completely. Graham Potter's issue in Brighton was they can't score goals. Right now, Man United can't score goals. Bringing Potter doesn't help that. Fair point. Sorry, I'm just trying to read all these comments because there's loads of them. Thank you, guys. There's one I want to read, but I completely missed it. Where's it gone? I'll go on to this one. Can really see the Ineos group choosing Potter to succeed Ten Hag. I'm a staunch supporter of Ten Hag, by the way. I could see it, I just don't think at the moment he'll go. I could see him being the replacement. Ineos are clearly fans of him. But I think for now, Ten Hag will be the manager. There was a comment which I want to read, but I can't find it. Normally I prioritise reading members' chats, but because you guys have donated 35 memberships today, that's now just basically everyone, which is great. I'll read this one from Alex. I really don't like the idea of Dallo at left back. I don't think he's as good at left back as Reguilon, although the bar has been set low minus Shaw. I think that's a fair point. I don't think we've done a poll on that, so I'm more than happy to change it. Alex, because you weren't here earlier, would you agree with Shaw at centre-back, or would you be looking for a Lindelof or a Johnny Evans, or do you think Shaw is the man for that job? But yeah, that could easily be Reguilon. I wonder who defensively would be the best suited for Mohamed Salah. Salah is left-footed though, so likes to come inside. Dalot being right-footed, does that help that? Maybe. Liverpool are beatable. I feel like I saw a comment. I feel someone put a comment about Liverpool's best 11 against Luton. Here it is. Liverpool's best 11 were beat by Luton. We can win or draw most likely. United can absolutely get a result in this game. Fulham scored 3 goals against Liverpool the other week. For context, we beat Fulham 1-0. Liverpool concede goals. Endo is not a good holding midfielder. I don't care what anyone says, and he might play well in this game, but he's not an elite level holding midfielder. He shouldn't start for a top 6 club in the Premier League. You can get at him. Scott McTominay being a good ball carrier, you can get there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, as good as he is, isn't the best defensive fullback in the world. You have chances there. Tsimikas is in poor form despite being a good player. The right centre-back position at Liverpool is unsettled. Sometimes it's Matip, now out injured. Sometimes it's Quansah, Konate. They rotate there. That always leads to a slightly unsettled defence, so you can test them. I also don't think tactically they're that good. Go back and watch their games, right? And tell me how many of the past 6 games you think they've played that well. I think tactically they're actually quite poor. The Manchester City game. I thought City were by far the better team. It finished 1-1, but City tactically were clear. And what City done, ignore the personnel for a second. What City done really well, though, was they went with a box shape in midfield like this. Again, ignore the personnel we've got here. City went for a box shape. And what happened was they built with a back 3, and Liverpool pushed their front 3 onto the City back 3. However, they pushed them up onto them, but were then passive once they got there, right? So they're basically aiming, again trying to fight off a sneeze, to cut off the passes into midfield. So they then also went 2-man in here. 2 for 2 like this, their man marking. However, what it's done to them, with Haaland obviously playing up front in that game, stretching the defence this way, which Højlund could do a similar job, it left 2 players either side of, I believe it was McAllister in that game. And that little option was there all day long. And what City done really well was they used Bernardo Silva here and Doku here. Because they had this spare man here, it was so easy to work the ball into this player and then 2 versus 1, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And come on, Trent's a good player, but he's not the best defensively. To have him 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 1, however you want to look at it, that is something United could take if United can get on the ball. Again, Liverpool aren't great. They set up in a system which is often looking for control, but they don't play with players which want that. Szoboszlai wants to get the ball forward. Trent Alexander-Arnold wants to get the ball forward. Darwin Núñez is chaos ball in a nutshell, a bit like Bruno Fernandes. They want to get forward quite quickly. It could at times lead to quite a transition-based game. So it'll be interesting. Alisson was quite error-prone this season on distribution. The problem with Alisson is he's probably the best goalkeeper in the world. AJ, have you filed your tax return yet? I actually done it a few days ago, mate. Thanks for checking up, though. Shaw's better versus Salah, but then it leaves us with a weakness at left centre-back. That's the problem we've got here. As much as I dislike Ten Hag, I don't think Potter's any better. Bit of a backhanded compliment, kind of, just about in there somewhere. Chelsea had goal-scoring issues under Potter too, good point. Yeah, I want to make something very clear. Liverpool are favourites going into this game, and probably win. But let's not make out they're something that they're not. This isn't the best Liverpool side. Let me quickly, you guys can look at Jurgen Klopp for a bit and discuss that beautiful face of his. Let me quickly go find some of their results. And particularly I want to look at the goals they conceded. Maybe Reguilon needs to watch the video from what Malacia did versus Salah at Old Trafford last season. Yeah, if I recall correctly, I mean, obviously Liverpool was set up differently. But Malacia was just aggressive front foot. If you remember, Lisandro Martinez also gave him a nice little shove right at the start of the game. And it really set the tone for the game. Actually, something else I quickly want to do before I look at Liverpool, look at their recent results, is tactically point out one thing. Ryan Gravenberch, good player. You might argue a great player. Very good on the ball, very threatening. Will he start? I'm not sure. If he does start, there's one thing to watch out for. And it's a trait which put me off United signing him. He does this thing when he loses possession. I like to call it the Marcus Rashford wave. That's what we're going to label it. It's exactly what Rashford gets criticised for, right? Gravenberch will often lose the ball in this area, and he does this thing where he throws his arm up, and for 2 seconds he sulks and goes, God damn it. And then he's like, oh, bugger, I need to track back now. But obviously in elite level football, 2 seconds of sitting there crying does give you the opportunity to exploit spaces. Having a ball carrier like Sofiane Amrabat, Scott McTominay, maybe a Kobbie Mainoo, that could be something to look at. Bruno said that shove by Lisandro Martinez is what got the crowd up. I think it was. I think it really helped us. What I want to do, though, look at some of these results down here for Liverpool. Now, you can ignore the one in the Europa League last night, right? Because a bit of an anomaly. It was a rotated team. They basically played the kids, apart from Cody Gakpo. Look at the goals they conceded. No, that Crystal Palace game, I watched it last Saturday. They weren't very good. Crystal Palace should have won that game. The only reason Liverpool won was because Ayew was harshly sent off for 2 yellow cards, which were both a little bit questionable. The Rashford shrug, I like it. But Liverpool were not good against Palace last weekend. 4-3 against Fulham. If we actually take a closer look at that game real quick, and I move my... how do I do this? Look when the goals were scored. Hang on, 1 second. They scored on the 87th and the 88th minute to win 4-3 against Fulham. They're not great. They have weaknesses. They're not the best team you're ever going to see. We've seen better Liverpool sides. We've seen much better Liverpool sides. If United are on it, which obviously is a big if, right? Because we're not on it very much this season. But if United are on it, there are ways you can hurt this Liverpool side. I don't think they're great. I don't think their balance in midfield is that spectacular. The problem you've got when you play against Liverpool is if you look at their 11, there's so many players who can break a game. Trent, Szoboszlai, Salah, Núñez in particular. They're game breakers. They can do something out of nothing and completely change game state. That's almost my bigger concern than actually their pure ability and tactical setup as a team. They're not the best team, in quotes. Sunday result 8-0. Hey, I've said already, I think Liverpool probably go on to win the game. But there is a world United can win this game, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't think we will. 3-2 Manchester United. You heard it here first. Because what we do have in this game, I believe, is the 2 goalkeepers who statistically have prevented the most goals in the Premier League this season. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you they're both good shot stoppers. What does it also tell you? Both teams concede chances. 3-2 Manchester United. Bang. Right? The point I'm trying to make is you can get at this Liverpool side. I wouldn't completely go into this game with no hope at all. There are areas we can hurt them. There are holes you can pick in the side. Højlund might be able to spin into this channel where Trent's moved. You can spin in there. You can carry past Endo. Don't write the game off completely before we go into it. Be prepared to be smacked because it could happen. We could lose this game 5-0. But, you know, there's a chance here. Okay, you're reading my mind, says Alex. AJ, oh, sorry, hang on. AJ, have you talked about Højlund? I really think he needs to run the channels and in behind more versus Virgil van Dijk. If he plays back to goal, only he'll get bossed. Thoughts? Yes. Read your mind. Perfect. I've got a video coming on that tomorrow morning, actually. Rasmus Højlund and why he's not scoring enough goals. Whether it's his fault or the team's fault. So watch out for that video tomorrow. Codename says, AJ, let's play a chance card. If Man United win at the weekend, 10 free memberships to chat. I feel like we need a landmark on the channel as well for it. Does anyone know the subscriber count right now? I'll make you a deal. If we beat Liverpool and my video on that game gets more than 15,000 views, which it should, the Chelsea one got 25,000 if we were to win, then yeah, I'll give away 10 memberships. That sounds like a deal. So if we win, and my video on the win gets 15,000 views or more, pardon me, I'll donate 10 memberships. I think that's pretty reasonable. This Liverpool team reminds me of them in the 17-18 season. They score a bucket load and concede a bucket load. Yeah, tactically, they're not there at the moment. VK has said, by the way, guys, we're on 45 likes right now. If it gets to 50, he'll throw in another 5 memberships. And also, Alex has said if Højlund scores in his first Premier League goal and United win, he will also gift 5 memberships in the next stream. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what is. Okay, so that's the deal, right? If Højlund scores and we win, Alex will donate 5 memberships. And if we win and my video gets 15,000 views, which again, it should, then I'll give away 10 memberships. That sounds like a good way to head towards Christmas. And Nuruddin has also said he'll throw in another 5 with Alex if Højlund scores. Rasmus Højlund, please be fit and play. The scenes when he gets injured in the warm-up. I'm showing 55 likes. Mine's showing 50 likes for quite a long time. Oh, yes, yeah. Mine says 58 likes at the moment. Love that from you guys. Considering we've had less people than normal, that's brilliant. Thank you, guys. Onana Bicey. I think we should come on to this because I need to leave shortly. Score predictions. Score predictions. I am someone who is always going to predict United to win, okay? So, 3-2. How does that sound? Alex, with the membership saying you can definitely hold me to it. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks for tuning in for today's stream. Enjoy the membership. I believe that's now your 2nd month, right? So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy all of the emojis and stuff. Thank you for joining the stream today. It's been good to see you. And also, VK has now gifted 5 memberships on the channel, which is just absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, VK, for the donation. Again, guys, turn the chat green. Green love hearts, green flames, everything. Turn the chat green. And Nuruddin himself is also now a member after giving memberships to loads of other people. He is now also a member himself. Nuruddin, enjoy all the perks. The little badge next to your name. What you guys will see in chat, right, is new memberships will have like a bronze symbol with a goat in it next to their name. And then once you're a channel member for 2 months, you get the little blue one, and it keeps upgrading. So the longer you're a member, a different badge you get, and I can see who's been supporting the channel the longest, which I think is pretty cool from YouTube, to be fair. Thank you guys so much again, though, for the donations and the gifting of the memberships. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Feels good to be green. Green and gold till the club is sold. Do we need a Glazers out emoji? I just thought of that. Corey says 3-0 Liverpool, but we will play better than normal. Corey, that might be the most optimistic thing I've ever heard you say. A Glazers out emoji feels like it could be a good idea, you know. Maybe a Glazers out flag or something? Or a banner? Or a scarf, sorry. That could be decent. There are so many comments in chat. It's great to see. Chad says 14-0 to Manchester United, you mean, right? Right, guys? To United, right? I think the thing most people would like to see is a better performance. I want to see us fighting for it. I don't want to see 60th minute we've thrown in a towel because we're 3-0 down, we're kind of giving up and they end up winning 5-0. None of that nonsense. I want to see us fighting, start till the end, there for every ball, whether it's mid-block, high press, low block, whatever it is, whether we're playing short, whether we're playing long. I want to see the players fighting in this game. And also, Erik ten Hag, please, tactically set us up well. Please. That's what I want to see from this game, and hopefully a win. I genuinely believe we can win this game. We are bums, that's the reason. Yeah, fair enough. Glazers out emoji, do you guys like the idea of that? Let me skip, you guys are about to get adverts, let me skip that because you've been amazing in chat today. Absolutely incredible. Oh, hang on, I've lost chat. Come back. Realistically, 3-1 Liverpool, but I want AJ to give free membership because I'm a cheap person. I respect it, I respect it. Ten Hag, please use the subs properly to cover yellow cards or tired legs. I think that will be an important thing as well, actually. It's a good point. Let's say we were to play an Anthony and he gets booked on the 20th minute. 60th minute is not going our way. Get him out of there, because if not, he's going to get sent off. The important thing is not conceding first. First goal will be big in this game. I actually think more so, though, the second goal will be big. If Liverpool were to pull away into a 2-0 lead, it's a problem. Whereas if we were to pull it back to 1-1, you'd back us from there, right? In short, full effort, whole match, reasonable tactics, and fair referee conduct. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fair referee conduct. We might be... Come on, let's keep it realistic here. Danny Quinn, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Saying, we are back to this crossroad again. Can Ten Hag survive this? Or is this going to seal his fate? He can't keep using a single pivot. This is the only match he shouldn't. A draw would be enough. I think that's fair enough. I'd like to see a box midfield as well. I do wonder if, and I know you said about not liking Dalot at left back, I quite like the idea of Dalot left back, Shaw left centre back, naturally defends that wide channel quite nicely, inverting next to Amrabat, Kobbie Mainoo, McTominay a little bit higher, could be Hannibal for McTominay quite comfortably, and get either side of Endo in here, because Liverpool do have that weakness. Do you think Mainoo could be more of an 8 on Sunday? I think I've read your mind again. Yeah. I think this box could be quite nice. The concern would be transitioning to defence. Does Dalot now go forward, or does he return to left back? That would be the difficulty there. Peter saying, thanks for the membership, guys. Yeah, the donations and the gifting has been incredible today. United have just 2 games in January. Yeah, 3 if we win in the Cup, but if not, just 2. AJ, why do you think we are so open this year? Is it because of the system, or is it because of Casemiro being off-form injured? Do you think an in-form Casemiro would improve us? Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both things you've said there. I think tactically we're set up wrong. I've said it several times. Forwards too high, defence too deep, blah, blah, blah. But also Casemiro's drop-off has gone... So I think that's been a problem as well. If we play bad and get slapped, what happens to him? Ugh, Eric Ten Hag in brackets. I think if we were to get badly beaten this game, I think that would seal his fate. I think he would be gone. Luckhurst, who we don't exactly like, but did say something similar. That Ten Hag's fine at the moment, but a battering here and it could go badly. You do realise when we have 6 up top, everyone is getting into each other's place. Yeah, I think that's another problem with it. Not only do we vacate the midfield, but we actually almost overcrowd the last line at times. It's about timing of movement. You can push players forward, but you don't want them standing there. What a lot of good players do is arrive into space rather than standing there already. You know, if I pick up this bit of space here, the whole time Kanate can see me and knows I'm there. Whereas if I drift into this space as the ball moves, it's much harder to pick me up. The only way to win is to defend and counter-attack. That's the approach I would use. How can we tactically beat Liverpool? Make sure to go watch back the stream, because we're now wrapping up. It's a case of a mid-block being compact in the middle of the park. We're playing for transition realistically. Or, as Codename said, just go for a 9-0-1. That's the other bet. Why only 2 games? I don't actually know. I think some of it might be to do with AFCON. I don't know if that's affected it. Yeah, I'm not really sure. You mentioned about the setup being wrong. How were we set up compared to last year then? The difference with last year is, for me, it's not even about the... It's not even specifically about the system. In terms of, like, is it a 4-2-3-1 or is it a 4-3-3, a 4-1-4-1, whatever. It's more about the spacing between the lines. Our defence really drops off more than ever this year, whilst our front line is really pushing higher than ever. That's the problem. Here lies my problem on the setup. We don't have left-footed cross, though. Yeah, that's a fair point. Probably a problem with that system. Park the bus and counter. AJ, if they had prime Suarez instead of Nunes, what would your prediction be? 6-0. If we have that shape and build-up, how do we beat their press? The problem we're going to have with beating their press in this game, right, is we don't have Alessandro Martinez. And Liverpool, pretty darn good at pressing. Now, there is potential that at times you could bypass and go long to McTominay or over the top to Højlund. There is that potential. It would be about really using Onana. If you want to beat this press, you've really got to be bold. Now, will Liverpool press? Against City, they kind of pressed. I would describe their game against City, rather than a high press, it was a high block. So, like I said, they were up in these positions like this, But say this player has the ball, they won't go in super intense. I think if they played a high block, we can find gaps. If they high press, which they might well do because they know we're not great at it, problems. Real problems. At that point, you have to use rebound passes, set-off passes, wall passes to move around them. So Varane maybe, Onana passes to Varane. Varane moves forward. Núñez presses him. Ball goes back to Onana. Varane's now got a move position, move Núñez, and then maybe Dalot can drop in. You play like this, and then round like that. That's the sort of approach you're going to need. That sort of thing could work. Also, if you can, this particular shape, you could go into the wingers and, rather than going in behind past them, try and get this ball setting into their feet. So Onana either left foot curved like this to Garnacho or right foot from Onana to Anthony. That could work as well. Garnacho versus Trent is a possible route if he lays it off to the midfielder. Yeah, absolutely. Again, City done this really well. Bernardo Silva here. Doku here. It was 2 versus 1 against Trent all game because Liverpool were too high in their midfield, but without applying pressure to the ball, which is why I say Liverpool aren't perfect. They might be in this game. Who knows? The rebound pass. I love the rebound pass. It's the best pass in football. Always rebound pass. Why is Onana always playing the long ball? We didn't buy him for that. I think just poor tactical instruction, I'll be honest. We do have the potential. That's a good point from VK. We could have pushed a defensive lineup with Varane and Shaw. That is a fair point. Obviously, goal kicks, we wouldn't be this structure is the other important thing to point out. Realistically, you see 2 centre-backs either side. You could still do it even from goal kicks. Because that particularly opens up the Garnacho pass. But it also particularly opens up Kobbie Mainoo as well. So what you could do, right, is use a really weird balanced shape in the play-out. I wouldn't normally recommend this, by the way. This is based on what Liverpool done against City. They might not do it again. You could go for an off-balance 3-2 shape like this from goal kicks. Because, right, let's say you play the ball short. Salah is responsible for that now. Darwin for this. Okay, fair enough. Luke Shaw is left-footed. This pass into this area. If Kobbie Mainoo wants to come get this ball, Konate's not coming that far. Endo could, but it could open up McTominay. It could also go straight to Garnacho, then underlap. The underlap tapes Trent, Garnacho can dribble. Or, Trent stays high, you can pass to Kobbie Mainoo. There is potential for that sort of little pattern as well, maybe. Why can't Ten Hag go for a 3-man midfield? I've got a 3-man midfield in this system. It just changes to a box as we move up the pitch. I think Varane and Shaw could work well. Last season against City, we worked very well with that partnership. There's a shout for it, absolutely. Mainoo was very good at dropping into a fullback position in pre-season in the build-up. Do you think that happens on the left? He's done it on the right. Yeah, again, what game was it? I think it was Everton. There are a few clips of him dropping into this position. So, this sort of build-up shape could ask questions of Liverpool. Because it pulls their system away from naturally what it wants to be. Now, yes, you could say, well, Salah will just sit off a little bit, Núñez will sit off a little bit, but that's okay, because if they're sitting off, that means we've got the ball. And if that happens, eventually you do draw them in, right? If you take your time, then we can see that bounce pass again, because Trent can't come all the way aggressive, because I don't think Liverpool fancy leaving 3 at the back like this. So there you go. We might have stumbled upon something there. This weird off-balance shape, with Dalot inside, Kobbie Mainoo dropping deep and wide. We might have cooked something there. We might have cooked a way of, live on stream, we've just done that, lads. We found a real hole in Liverpool's structure there. Because you're asking Liverpool players now, to cover 2 players at once. Granted, Szoboszlai is very athletic. He can cover 2. You just think over a 90-minute match, you might find that spare. AJ, do you think the lack of left-footed midfielder hurt our midfield? It's something that I still really want to look into a lot more. if we had a full squad, what would your 11 be? Obviously Shaw left back. It would be Lisandro Martinez left centre back. Varane right centre back. Wan-Bissaka right back, just because of Dalot's form. Amrabat, Kobbie Mainoo double pivot. Bruno Fernandes, Anthony, Højlund up top. Genuinely, I don't know who I would go for on the left. I don't know. Question is whether McTominay can receive in the half space. He can do it when he's not pressured. When he's pressured, we'd never want to see that ever again. But when he does have a bit of time, he can do that quite nicely, and he can actually be quite effective because he's got good stride length. So, possibly. No Casemiro? No, I think he was a big problem in our early season form. On top of the structure, obviously, but Mainoo and Wan-Bissaka could swap for build-up. Yeah, obviously it could happen down this side as well. I think that's where I want to leave the stream though, guys, because I need to leave and go do some things. We've been live for an hour and 45 now. Today has been an unbelievable stream though. In total, we've had 41 new members, 40 of which have been donated or gifted to completely random people, which is just amazing. It's been an incredible stream. So thank you so much to everyone who's gifted memberships, which I believe is VK. Alex, did you donate today? I can't remember, but Nuruddin. The gifting of the memberships has been incredible. We've had donations from VK, we've had donations from Ali. Just absolutely incredible. So thank you guys so much for that. The support is just not, like, it leaves me speechless. I don't really know what to say. So thank you guys so much for those donations as always. Thank you for everyone who has kind of sat here quietly and minded their own business. Thank you to everyone who's got involved in the polls, given their opinions in chat. Everyone who's a new member, make sure to say thank you at some point. But yeah, have a good weekend. Actually, first of all, have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're at work, if you're studying, good luck. If you've got the weekend off, enjoy your weekend off. Enjoy the game, hopefully. Enjoy a weekend of good football. Hopefully a Manchester United win. I'll be back next week live. In the meantime, I've got a video tomorrow on Rasmus Højlund, Sunday on Scott McTominay, Monday on Manchester United versus Liverpool. You don't want to miss any of that. I might even go live after the Liverpool game. So there's loads of content coming. Hope you guys all have a great weekend. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now I've got that awkward moment where I try and find the end stream button. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always,